You can go there. Oh, hi. It's not what it looks like. I'm not just playing with dolls. I'm setting up my own ornamental hermitage. What's one of those, I hear you ask? Well, the hermitage was a building in your preferably grand country estate that looked kind of ramshackle and maybe a bit run down, but you've built it especially to look that way. And you stick it in your garden and you fill it with odds and ends and curios, and it's a place to reflect on solitude and melancholy and loneliness. This is from the late 18th century. This is from a time when sensibility was a really big thing. The cult of sensibility. It's hard to explain really. It's a kind of my feelings are deeper than yours type deal. You want to cry at every opportunity. You feel pity for things, and you create areas of your garden where you can sit and contemplate and be melancholy. And that's your hermitage. These were so popular, these things came in flat packs. And originally, that's all they were. Follies. Things in the garden. They were filled with objects to make it look like the hermit had just stepped out. Things like a candle, usually partially burnt, to show the hermit had been there at night. So, put my candle there. Maybe some sort of memento mori. This is a cat skull, but a human skull would have been better. Something to remind you that death exists. Because sentiment and melancholy, very important to this kind of thing. Maybe something of the great Roman past, probably a bust or something, but I've got a bit of St Albans town wall, a nick from St Albans. But the ancient past here, got a Stone Age as a Paleolithic hand cutter. Put that there. And then, you know, some thoughtful text. So I've got the Bible, naturally. I've got Burton's Anatomy of Melancholy. Let's put that in there. And then I've got knitting with dog hair, because, well, better a sweater from a dog you know and love than a sheep you never meet. So there you go. Now I've kitted it out. I might get my glasses and I'll put my glasses on there to look at. And so what I do as a rich landowner, I see it from far away. I think what a lovely gloomy prospect full of wild abandon and barrenness. And then I come up and I look and I think, oh, how lovely. And I think about the hermit who might have just walked out. This wasn't enough for some people. Some people had to go one step further. And here is the step further. Meet Daisy. Back to her again. Hello. Now Daisy is going to be my hermit. She is going to live in here. Normally it was a man, but I only had a girl doll. She is going to live in here for a period. 7 years seems to be the usual one. And she's not going to cut her beard. She'll find that easy. But she's not going to cut her hair either, or her nails. She'll be given like one new set of clothes every now and again. And she won't be allowed to talk to people. She'll just sort of sit there and she'll contemplate and she'll read. And every now and again, when I've got guests around, I'll go, do you want to come and see me, hermit? And I'll go up there and I'll go and see her. Seems a bit crazy, really. I've heard some theories that this is a bit like the Katzenclavier, that it might not have actually existed. However, unlike the Katzenclavier, there are better sources than Athanasius Kircher. Indeed, Osbert Sitwell writes about a hermit in Lancashire who was paid £50 a year to live in a cave. And he was a very lucky hermit. He had full K service. He rang a bell, he got some food. There's also several other stories. There's Payne's Hill. They offered 700 guineas for 7 years. But you had to do the whole 7 years to get the 700 guineas. In Shropshire, where strange things always seem to be happening, there was a Father Francis. The problem with Father Francis is he seems to have maintained being 90 years old for about 20 years, so there maybe were several Father Francises. So there is some sort of evidence for it. Indeed, there are some adverts advertising for hermits, because that's how you get one. You send out an advert, hermit wanted, live in my garden for 700 guineas for 7 years, and don't cut your hair, don't talk to anyone, and read a book. There's even a story of a person who went on spec, went around going, I want to be a hermit, will you pay me? Though there's no reports of him getting a job. Fact is, these might be exaggerated, these myths. You see, hermitages are follies. And follies are, well, they're buildings built to create myths. Maybe that's what most of these hermits are. My personal favourite ornamental hermit myth is about the naughty one. Daisy! What are you doing with this beer mug? Really? That was the problem, you see. You couldn't get the staff. The Painshill hermit was reportedly caught going to the pub several times. Other hermits got fed up, one after 3 weeks. And gradually, well, the hermits went. Bye bye hermit. However, the hermitages remained and something had to go in them. So what they did was they replaced them with fake hermits. They made little model hermits, sometimes even automata hermits, or sometimes they just hired their garden to be a hermit when they needed to. Vauxhall Gardens had their own hermit who worked in this sort of fake grotto, and he was only there during opening hours. He was paid to just turn up and be a hermit when he was needed. By this point, the sort of deep, melancholy, sublime, thoughtful idea of it had kind of gone. It was a bit of a kitsch joke. And so most of the hermitages, well, they fell into disrepair. I'm a bit of a hermit myself, maybe I should try it. I can't really grow a beard. Nah, Daisy, you're a better hermit than I. You can stay there. If you want to find out more about hermits, I recommend The Hermit in the Garden by Gordon Campbell. At the back it's got a list of all the hermitages still in existence. You can go hermitage spotting. I'll be reviewing that book next week on my blog. However, for now, I bid you adieu. And whatever you do, happy hermiting.